Hello and welcome to CIT-15. This is fall 2024, and we are what we call a back nine course, meaning that it's the latter half of the fall semester. So getting started a little late, and we've got a lot to do. So let's jump into this. Um, I want to start out by introducing myself. My name is Sarah Jones. I've been a teacher here at City College since 2001. Yeah, it's been a long time. Um, anyway, I'm very pleased to be your guide through this course. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what you need to know to get started and get going. Um, Things that are there on Canvas for you and how to find everything that you need. So let me share my screen and we'll get right into it and show you what it is you need to know. So share screen and switch back over to home. And I need to become a student here so that what you see on the screen is what you're going to see here. So here is Canvas. If you're not getting to this video through Canvas already, go to Canvas. That's where everything that you need is, at least where it all starts. Um, on the home page every week, you will see a list of all the new material that's coming in, any announcements, stuff like that. The home page is pretty descriptive of what's going on. We're going to get into a little bit more detail in a minute, but this is what's going to pop up when you first come into Canvas is that home page for the current week. Now, it's very important that you go over to syllabus and read the syllabus. In a face-to-face class, we would go over the syllabus on the first day of class, but since we're not, meeting each other in person, I'm going to leave it up to you to read it, but do read it. It's very important that you read it because there's all sorts of important information here about the materials that you will need, which, I'm going to talk about anyway, but how your grade is based, just good legal disclaimers and stuff like that, that it's very important for you to know about. So it's here, it's always there, you can always look at it. Very nice that, we no longer have the excuse of saying, oh, I lost my copy of the syllabus, can I have another one? And, I've got to print it out. And no, it's there all the time. So read the syllabus. Another thing that's important is, and you'll see it under Zoom, but usually you'll get to it via the homepage or via the modules, is my office hours. Since we don't have any set class meetings, I hold office hours in my Zoom room on Monday evenings at 7:30 p.m. and Wednesday afternoons at 3 p.m. And I realize that maybe those times don't work for you. I tried to choose, one evening and one afternoon to cover as many bases as possible, but, I can't have my Zoom room open 24/7. But on the other hand, I work out of my home. I'm here most of the time. So if you really need to get together and, would like to chat in the Zoom room, because just writing me a message doesn't seem to accomplish what it is you're trying to accomplish, or you'd like to walk through a process or something like that, I'm delighted to do that. Just message me and let me know, give me a choice of a couple of times that will work for you, and we'll set something up so that we can set up a Zoom meeting just for you. I'm more than happy to do that. It's easy for me because, as I say, I work out of my home. I'm here almost all the time. About, a couple hours on the weekend is as much as I get out. So don't hesitate to ask for a meeting. I'm delighted to do that. Now, you also want to know that your grades sheet is here in Canvas, so you can always check and see your scores on anything. Um, think of points assigned for particular assignments as more, what percentage did I get? I might switch it over just to percentages so that you're not too worried about the points, because everything's weighted. All of your quizzes are a certain percentage of your grade, your simulations are a certain percentage of your grade, and that's all in the syllabus, so you know how that's weighted. Also, as far as letter grades are concerned, when you're looking at this, you want to keep in mind that Canvas does not include in your overall grade something that you have not turned in yet, even though it might actually have passed its due date. If you haven't turned it in, it's not included, so your grade may look better than it actually is, you know, based on the fact that you haven't turned that assignment in yet. And, if you don't turn it in, you're going to get a 0 eventually. Yeah. So if you have a question, never hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for, is straightening up matters like that. And if something just doesn't seem right, pop me a message and I'll check it out. But usually everything works pretty well. So you know about syllabus, you know about grades. Some other things that are here for you include a link to tutorial services, name coach. Do take advantage of that. That gives you a little phone link where you can pronounce your name for us so that we can hear how you say it and therefore do a better job of pronouncing your name correctly. You also get the opportunity to opt in for pronoun choice if that's something that is important to you. Please feel free to take advantage of that if you desire to. There's chat, which I guess allows you to chat with your other, fellow students. I don't know if anybody does anything too much with that, but your choice. At any rate, let's go back to the home page and take a look at what's here for week 1. Now, we've only got 9 weeks to get through a lot of stuff. So there's a whole lot in week 1. And this is stuff that's just considered new this week. The welcome video that you're watching now is there. There's the homepage is always going to be a little bit prettier way to look at the new material. You'll see, preview screens of the videos that are there for you to watch, stuff that you need to do, some videos to watch that will help you to do those things. If you see something that has a check mark here, that means that that's a graded assignment. You actually have to do something, and we will know if you don't. If you don't watch the lecture, your choice. I'm not going to know whether you watched it or not, although hopefully you'll get something out of it. Oh, that's the lecture one. That's something else. If you don't watch the accompanying videos, again, your choice. If you don't read the textbook, your choice, but you're going to have a hard time doing the quizzes if you don't actually read the textbook. So, do that. But if it's got a check mark, that's something that counts towards your grade. So that's something that you will need to do. And there will usually be a link to take you to where you do that thing. So anything that has a check mark is something you have to do for your grade. Other things are just videos to help you do them, accompanying informational videos, stuff like that. It's all here. And as I say, on the home page, it's prettier looking, a little bit more, approachable. However, there's also the modules page where everything is a bit more streamlined. All the same things are there. There's just links to the pages rather than seeing the little preview windows for all the videos and all of that. Plus, if you want to work ahead, all the weeks are here. You just have to open up a week and look at the stuff. Or if you need to look back at something, it's very easy to go to a previous week to get to that previous week's material. So this is always here. On the home page, you're going to see just the stuff that's ostensibly new that week. There are links to get to previous weeks, no links to get to upcoming weeks. But again, everything is here in modules. So you are welcome to work ahead. You are welcome to click back and review, do whatever it takes for you to get through the stuff. Now, that being said, all of your assignments, apart from the weekly attendance, which is just a silly little I'm here quiz, it's a true false. The answer is true. False was funny once, many, many semesters ago. Anyway, do that every week, but it only shows up during that week because otherwise it's not really indicative of attendance that week, is it? The other thing is your final exam. That will not be available to you until the last week of the course. Everything else is all available. So you can get started and get through a ton of stuff just in the first week if that's what you want to do. If you know you have a big assignment coming up in 2 weeks for another class that you want to focus your attention on during that week, use this time to get ahead in this class. Or come back and do, stuff later. Now, assignments are due 2 weeks from the first day of the week when they are introduced. So anything introduced in week 1 is due at the end of week 2. After that, you can still turn it in, but there's a small late penalty. It's 10%, means you can still get an A on it if you do well on it. And that doesn't get any bigger if you wait until the last day of class to turn it in. It's still just the 10% penalty. But it's a little bit of an incentive to not procrastinate too much. So keep that in mind. Again, everything is available except attendance and the final exam from the first moment this course is published. So please avail yourself of the opportunity to work ahead if that's the way you like to work. Not everybody does, but don't dawdle either, because you do not want to find yourself in that last week of the course with the final looming over your head and 3 weeks worth of stuff still to do, because 3 weeks worth of stuff in this class is a lot. A lot. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is where most of your work is. Now, some of it is right here on Canvas. The attendance is here. Like I said, that's just a little true-false thing. But your course discussions, your class discussions are here. So they happen in Canvas and they are graded in Canvas. All of your other work happens in a place called My IT Lab. My IT Lab is a product of Pearson Educational Publishing, and they host your e-textbook. They host all of your applications work, the application simulations, the applications simulation exams, and your practical exams or lab tests. Okay. In order to access that, you need to purchase a license for My IT Lab for this course. You may also already have an account with Pearson because you used a Pearson product for a previous class. And it could be in a completely different subject because we use Pearson products a lot. They are a giant in educational publishing. So if you already have an account, you're halfway there already, but you do have to purchase the license for My IT Lab for this course. Okay? You can't use somebody else's leftover. You can't share with another member of the class. Sorry, you've got to get your own. You can get that license through the bookstore. It's going to cost more. It's cheaper if you purchase it directly from Pearson within the scope of signing up for the course. A lot cheaper. So I suggest you do that. There's also a free 14-day trial if you don't have the cash or, the credit card or the PayPal or whatever it is right now to purchase the license. I believe it's $79. That 14-day free trial will get you going and get you started working. Do not use all of those 14 days. You need to have that license fully paid for by the end of week 1 or risk being dropped from this class, because we simply don't have time to faff around. We just don't. So people that are not going to follow through on stuff might as well just say, maybe I better do this another semester. My feelings are not going to be hurt. Nobody's going to get their nose out of joint if that's the right decision for you. And you're the only person that can make that decision. But you need to do that by the end of week 1, get that license paid for. Okay. Now, how do you do that? Well, on the left side of your screen in Canvas, you're going to see a link that says Access Pearson. When you click on Access Pearson, Now, I've already signed up as a student for this course because I did some demo videos to walk you through the process. Well, I signed my dog up for it. She's got her own account. Yeah. And she's on the 14-day free trial. And guess what? She's not paying for it. She's kind of stingy that way. At any rate, you're going to see this link that says Open Pearson. This is automatically going to take you to the right course. It's going to give you the chance to create a Pearson account if you don't already have one. If you do, it will give you the opportunity to sign in, and then it will take you to the process of enrolling in this course. It's that simple. Once you do that, then you simply go to the modules. Say you're working in week 2, and you see that in the graded assignments, there's the Chapter 3 Technology in Action book quiz. That happens in Pearson. So there's the link. It just automatically takes you to my IT lab where you do your quiz. Again, I've got a number of videos that walk you through this process that you can look at before you try it out to make sure that you feel comfortable with the process before you do it. But it's really very easy. And yeah, I realize I'm speaking as somebody who teaches technology classes, but you know, I'm a user like yourself. I approach things from the same point of view that you all do. I want things to be as simple and straightforward as possible. And I get irritated when I have to click around in a gazillion different places to get stuff done. And quite frankly, so far, I'm really liking this deep linking of our course directly to my lab. We didn't have that in previous semesters. And so far, it seems to be working pretty well. Fingers crossed it continues to. I haven't heard anything from other teachers that started back at the beginning of the semester doing this, that there were any monumental problems. So I'm going to go on the assumption that everything is working great. Now, a couple of notes before you get going in my IT lab. Number one, it is best to use as your browser when you start this whole process, either Chrome or Firefox. It's also very important that you turn off any pop-up blockers because all of the assignments in my IT lab open up in pop-up windows. So you need to have that blocker turned off before you go in and do it, or else you're not going to get very far. And that's simple. You can set those to turn off just for particular sites. So if you want to keep your pop-up blockers on for everything else that you do in that browser, that's great. Now, will this work in other browsers? Marginally. It's best in Chrome or Firefox. Those are the ones that it gets along best with. And since both of them are free, why not? Yeah, use the one that's going to behave the best in. The other thing that you need to know is at some point, well, I can tell you exactly what point, when you go to do your first lab test, at that point, you absolutely must have access to a Windows computer, either a PC or a laptop, but not a Mac, not a tablet. You can't do it on your phone, can't do it on your iPad. And most of the other stuff you really can't do on a any tablet, iPad, or phone anyway. The simulations can be done on a Mac, although you still are better off if you're using Chrome as your browser, and you are going to have some keyboard issues, but there's a virtual keyboard that you can use. It just makes things kind of a pain. So it's better just to have access to a Windows computer. However, if what you usually work on is a Mac, you can do it up to the point of doing those lab tests. At that point, you either need to borrow somebody's laptop or Windows PC, or you need to go onto campus and use one of the computers in the lab or the library. Or are those the same thing? Well, there's a lab in the business division building that you can use that has everything that you need. You will also need the Microsoft Office software downloaded, not the web-based Office 365, but downloaded. It's free. You get it as a student, and there's a wonderful, helpful video on how to get that. So that's very important. Um, I actually cannot emphasize enough how important that is because it seems like every semester we get to that point where it's time to do that first lab test. And I get somebody saying, well, but I don't have the right kind of computer. Why can't I do it on this? And I'm like, I told you right at the beginning, this is what you needed. You had at least a couple of weeks to arrange that. Go do it. So don't be one of those people, please. I would appreciate it so much. Um, at any rate, I think that's about it that I want to regale you with right now. There are lots of other videos that will allow you to listen to my charming voice walking you through various processes. So hopefully you'll get something out of those. And I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible in my Zoom office hours or in a private Zoom meeting or however you choose, or maybe just by message. That's fine too, if that's what works for you. And let's all try and have a really good, if short, semester. See you soon. Bye bye.